Alright, hey everyone, it's Clint from GardenFrugal.com here today with another decomposed episode of Garden Frugal TV. So, in the previous video I mentioned doing a compost video. I was going to film kind of setting this one up here behind. I ran into some problems when it came time to edit and it just didn't work out. So, I just kind of wanted to show you the static bin that I had here. I just got the old kids swimming pool. And the plastic doesn't last very long on these things, you know, and it's falling apart, so I'm using it to throw some yard scraps in and get a compost bin going for right now. So I just have this thing layered up. I wanted to kind of show you how to layer it up and everything, because the same rules apply to these other compost bins that I'm going to show you. But basically, you guys know there's different types of compost bins, and you know what kind of inspired me to do this video is John Kohler from growingyourgreens.com. Check him out on YouTube. You guys probably already know who he is. But anyways, he did a video on different composting bins, and you know, John does a lot. He experiments a lot, and when he makes recommendations saying he gets the best results out of you know, whichever one he recommends, I trust him, and he says that he gets the best results out of using a Tumbler composting bin. So if any of you guys have researched Tumbler composting bins, they can be pretty expensive. You know, I mean, you can be looking at 80, 90 bucks or even more. And I'm going to show you how you can make two for about 25 bucks. So all I got here is a Rubbermaid 32-gallon bin. Garbage can with wheels, and what you want to look for is the one with the lid that goes on, and these handles will lock the lid on it. So I'm going to show you really quick. You can grab this thing and get the lid on, put the handles up, and it's locked on. It's got wheels, and what makes this so great versus some of the other tumblers are this thing's portable, so you can wheel this thing out to where you're working in the garden, and as you're cutting and doing stuff, you can fill it right up. Once it's done composting, you can wheel it to where you want in the garden, and you know, dump it out into the garden and bring it closer to where you're working. You know, another plus is it's black. So you know, I live up in the Pacific Northwest. We get cold winters, and you know, your compost bins and stuff can shut down in the winter if they're not warm enough. So with it being black, it'll help keep it warmer longer. So hopefully I can compost longer into the winter. As well as you can move this around and position it into the sun to keep the sun on it to keep it warmer longer. So lots of great perks to doing this. I just went to my local Ace Hardware. You know, it's locally owned and operated. And, you know, I just checked the ads because I've seen these things go on sale, so I just waited till they went on sale again, and I was able to pick up two of them for about, I think they were $11.99 a piece or something like that. So for under 25 bucks, I'm going to be able to make two bins versus, you know, 80 bucks or more for one bin. So the reason for the two is once you start filling this thing up and you're rotating it, if you add more new material to it, you're never going to have a bin of finished product. You're going to keep adding new stuff to it, and as you tumble it, it's going to mix in with the finished product, and you're never going to have completely finished compost. So the reason for the two is you can fill them up, add all the material. Once you kind of get it to a certain level, you just stop adding to it. You can keep tumbling it. You'll get some completely finished compost, and then you can start filling up the next one. So, you know, that's one of the downsides to the tumbler bins is you know, if you have one for 80 bucks and you fill it up, well, pretty soon you're going to have to stop filling it up until it completely composts for you before you can start adding new stuff. So, you know, like I say, just lots of great perks all the way around. You know, the easiest way to tumble it, this thing, you can just lay it on the sides, the lid locks on, and you can just roll it away. So, makes it easy for tumbling, makes it easy to maneuver around. There's just lots of good perks. So, let's just dive right into the construction of it. So basically all I'm going to do is I just have my drill here with the biggest bit I could find currently I have. It's, you know, maybe like a ½ inch or so. And I'm just going to drill the heck out of the sides. I'm going to drill the heck out of the bottom to let extra moisture drain out of the bottom. And then I've seen people drill holes in the top, but because I've said before, I live here in the Pacific Northwest, we get a lot of rain, and I just don't want this thing having a whole bunch of rain and stuff getting into it. So I'm not going to fill it completely up to the top. I'm going to leave lots of room up here. So I think with a lot of holes up in the top, that'll get a good enough air flow through it. And then that way I can try to keep as much rain from getting in this thing as possible. So that's my logic. That's what I'm going to do. If I find any different results, I'll post an update, you know, definitely on the Facebook page, or I'll do an updated video. But that's about it. So I'm just going to get my drill here, and I'm just going to start drilling away, you guys, and then I'll be back with you probably in a bit to show you the results. Alright, you guys, that's it. I'm done drilling this thing out. Probably took me not even 10 minutes to do, you know. You don't have to space them apart or do anything, just random holes and just as many as you think. And, you know, that's basically what I did. So I just kind of spaced them out. You know, just went around randomly, drilled holes on the side, and then I got a little more aggressive and did a lot more holes just right up here in the top. It's thicker plastic up here so it can handle it. And that way, that's going to make up for me not drilling a bunch of holes in the lid. So that's it, you guys. Pretty simple, pretty easy to do. And $25, I'm going to have 2 of them. So I want to take this time too to talk about some composting tips and points and how to do it, how to load it up. So basically, twigs and branches and stuff like that take a really long time to decompose. They really don't do great in compost bins, but they do serve a purpose just in the very bottom. So I don't really have a lot of sticks or twigs or anything, but I do have a lot of my tomato stalks. So they're kind of woody, thicker, take longer to break down. They'll eventually break down, I think, even quicker than like a twig off a tree or something would. But I'm going to put some of those in the bottom to kind of keep stuff elevated off the bottom. The way that the sticks are kind of give you lots of airspace. And that's going to be the key to doing composting, you guys, is the air. The minute you start blocking it off and you know, your compost can't get good air, it's going to shut down and it's not going to do a good job for you or compost as quickly. So that's why the tumbler bins work good, because as you're stirring it, you're mixing it all up, you're aerating it. So I'm just going to start out by just throwing some of these tomato stalks down here in the bottom. Throw some more in there. And basically the next step is adding your greens and your browns. So just to clarify, your greens and your browns have nothing to do with the color of the items that you're putting in there. Just the greens refer to nitrogen-based stuff, or stuff that's high in nitrogen, and browns are going to be your carbon-based. So, like for instance, coffee grounds are actually green. They're rich in nitrogen, but they're brown in color. So I just want to be very clear when you hear me talk about browns and greens, just associate browns and greens to carbons and nitrogen. So greens nitrogen, browns carbon. So, and you basically want to mix it up. You know, scientists and stuff will tell you that you want like a 30-to-1 ratio of brown to green. Well, what does that mean? Or how do you measure that? You know, some things are browner than others. You know, leaves. Leaves are really high in carbon, are a great source. Straw, hay, stuff like that is really high in carbon. versus some other browns that you could put in there. Same with your nitrogens. And the problem with composting, and the problem that people have, is you always have excess nitrogen. You always have a lot more lawn clippings and everything else. So you end up putting a lot more nitrogen in your bin, and you don't keep the proper ratio up to where it will work effectively for you. So a tip to have this time of year with the leaves, if you can, is to go out and just stockpile as many leaves as you can. I don't have a lot of trees in the yard, but I end up going around to places and scooping up as many leaves as I can and bringing them back and keeping them with me, because I'm going to keep having more nitrogen-rich items to add, and as I do that, I'm going to need some more carbon stuff to add as well, and I run out this time of year of that. So another thing you can do is go to your local feed store and buy a bale of straw. You're probably looking at maybe $5 for a bale of straw, which is pretty huge. Great carbon base, dry, and you'll be able to add that and keep your ratios up, you guys. So, and then it just comes to layering. So I got the sticks in there, and then I'm just going to basically layer my browns and my greens. So like I said, they said 30-to-1 ratio. I don't know how you would figure that out and calculate it out. A good rule of thumb is 50-50 in weight. So your greens, a lot of times, like your lawn clippings are going to weigh more than your leaves. So a 50-50 ratio in weight between those two is a good rule of thumb. And another ratio that people use is 2-to-1. So 2 times the volume of browns to your greens. So I'll put a layer twice as thick of leaves in compared to my lawn clippings. So. And then the layering it just really helps to not get any dead spaces in air. So, you don't want to compact stuff in there. You don't want to just put a super thick layer of your green grass too, because it just kind of restricts the airflow. So as you layer it, it's going to help get some good airflow. Plus, turning it's going to really help out. So, stuff to put in. You can put in all your vegetable scraps. Clippings, yard clippings, leaves, your yard waste, stuff like that. Things you don't want to put in are meats, dairy products, anything oil-based. And the main reason for that is if you start adding oils and gravy and everything else to this, it starts taking up that dead space amongst your compost, and it creates a problem with airflow. It goes anaerobic. It really starts to stink. So, and then the other problem with it too is, Mr. Raccoon around here may not have, an addiction to broccoli, but the minute you cook some up and put a bunch of cheese sauce on it and dump it in here, he's coming for that cheese sauce on that broccoli, and he's going to get in it. So just avoid dairy, meats, oils, any of that type of stuff, anything really fatty, and that's just because to keep the critters away. So, and then just we'll just layer it up with some browns and greens here, you guys. So I went out, scooped up a bunch of leaves, and the problem around here this time of year is we never have dry leaves around here. So you'll see some people about getting their compost pile wet or moist. To tell you the truth, I'm not going to add any moisture, because it's better to have less than to more. You can't go back. I can always add more if I need to, but Pacific Northwest rains all the time. All our leaves are sopping wet, and it's probably going to be almost wet enough, or maybe possibly even too wet. So I'm not going to add any moisture. You may want to, but like I say, start out by not adding a lot, and then if you need to, add more. So get my layers of browns going here. So that's a start to the layer of browns. I'm going to add my greens. I got some lawn clippings here, So I'm going to steal off of this compost pile, get some in here to get it going. Alright, and then the next thing is going to be just adding some garden soil. If you've already got some compost from another compost bin, I'm actually going to grab some worm castings out of my worm compost bin to add in here, and it's just going to be a handful or two, and it's just to bring all those good enzymes and bacteria and fungi and stuff from that compost you already have, adding it to your bin to help kickstart this thing, to get the population of all those microorganisms going in your compost bin. So let me go get some worm castings really quick, and we'll throw some in here. Alright, you guys, so here's my worm bin. I've done a video on this before. I'll end up throwing a link above if you want to watch how to make the worm composting bin. But this thing does great. To tell you the truth, I put all my vegetable scraps and kitchen scraps and all that type of stuff, and the trimmings from all the vegetables and everything in here. They do a lot better in this bin than they will in this. This is basically going to be a lot of yard waste, lawn clippings, leaves, and then I'm going to probably end up getting some straw to add to it to keep it going type of thing, because I got too much lawn. That's going to be going away, or some of it at least. But anyways, here we go, you guys. So this thing's just loaded with worms too, so that ain't going to hurt nothing. And we'll get some of this great compost in here, and you can see I got a lot of eggshells and stuff in here. You know, when it comes to composting, a good rule to go by is if you're ever in doubt, leave it out. So if you're not sure about putting something in your compost bin, just leave it out. And this brings me to another topic. I try to do a lot of research for you guys. You know, you don't need to make this hard or difficult or anything. Compost happens, you know. It'll just do it. You don't have to be exactly perfect on your ratios or anything else. It's still going to compost. It's still going to work for you. But there are also some things, you know, like there's a big debate about sticking eggshells in or not. Some people say, yeah, they're fine. Some people say, no, they're not. I put eggshells in. This thing's loaded with eggshells. When you put them in, everything else will compost, but the eggshells still may be sticking around a little bit. It's no big deal. You get them in the garden, they'll break down further, they'll go away. They'll eventually go away. They just take a lot longer than everything else, and it's fine. I use them. If you don't want to use them, don't put them in. But there is one big no-no. Putting any type of waste from a meat eater in your compost. So for instance, dogs and cats and stuff like that. You do not want to put their manure or their waste into your compost bin. You know, and I try to do my best for you guys researching things on YouTube. You can watch other videos and you'll find people that tell you to do that, and they've never had a problem. But let me tell you this, in my research and what I have found is every publication from anyone, any book, any university study, any extension office, they're all going to tell you, do not put any waste in from meat eaters. And everyone agrees on that. Not everyone agrees on eggshells and other things and stuff like that, but everyone agrees on waste from meat eaters. And the problem is this, there's a parasite, and it's a very, very slim chance that you're ever going to get it. But when it does happen, it is a very slim chance. When it does happen, it's extremely bad, you guys. Very harmful, very dangerous, and it's bad. Bad, bad, bad. You don't want to mess with it. So the reason for that, it's so bad, but it's such a slim chance, the easiest solution is to just not do it or risk it or tempt it, okay? If you've got stuff like rabbits, chickens, hamsters, stuff like that, you can add their waste, you know, their wood shavings, all that type of stuff in, because that stuff breaks down really fast. But they're also not meat eaters, you know, they're herbivores. So that's my little tangent on that. I'm not going to go any further into it. You guys are welcome to research it, but I'm just trying to pass along as much of the information as I can to you, and that stuff is bad. So I've got my layer of browns, I got a layer of greens, I got some worm castings in there to kick this thing off, and then I'm just going to do another layer of leaves. And you just keep doing it. I'm going to fill this thing up, and you know, I'll probably end up rotating it once a week, and you know, we'll see how this works out for me, you know. And then once I get this one full, I'll just be able to let this completely compost 100% as I start filling up the next one. So I haven't drilled this one out yet. I'm going to get to that next. But that's it, you guys. I hope you like it. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll put some more information probably up on gardenfrugal.com about composting. And hopefully I'll get some information up there, and I look forward to seeing the feedback from you guys. So as always, go to the Facebook page, facebook.com/gardenfrugal. Subscribe, give me a thumbs up, leave your comments below. I'd love to hear from you guys. And if there's something else you guys would like to see me do or attempt, or if you got questions, let me know. Post it in the comments or on the Facebook page. So, and I always got the contest going, gardenfrugal.com/contest. This last contest I had going was really simple and easy, and I was giving away a free Kindle book of the Square Foot Gardening book by Mel Bartholomew. It's a great book, you guys. I think it's great for anyone starting out or an experienced gardener. I go back to it every year for the planting guide. The planting guide in it is awesome, and I go back to that, and I use that to plant everything in my garden. So I gave a copy of that away free. I sent an email off to the person that won. I'm just waiting for them to respond back, and I'm going to send them the link and information, and they can download a free Kindle book. So go to the Facebook page too. I'm going to put some stuff up. You don't need to have a Kindle to use a Kindle book. You can look up Kindle books or read Kindle books on your computers, your iPhone, your Android phone, your iPad. There's apps on all those different things that you can read those books on all those other devices as well, you guys. So I think it's pretty cool. So anyways, free stuff is great. I'm always giving it away, and you guys know the drill. Until next time, know your limit and grow within it. All right, guys, take care.